what you have done is you are taking upon yourself, through your attention to detail, the burdens of the discomfort of the lives of so many over which you have no creative control. So the darkness that you are feeling and the horror of it, the injustice of it, is because you personally cannot do anything about any of that. But we want to say to you, you're taking so much more of it on yourself than is yours to take, and that any individual that is experiencing any of the pieces of that you're defining is not feeling as badly about it. At one point early in her experience with us, Esther was watching something on television. It was something that had happened in another part of the world, and it happened to children, and the mothers were wailing, and as Esther was watching it, she was beside herself with discomfort. And she said to us, Abraham, if I'm feeling this much discomfort over watching something from which I am so completely removed, what must it be like for those people who are in the midst of all of that? And we said to Esther, your pain in this moment is greater than theirs, because the contrast between who you are and what you are living and what you are allowing right now is greater. And because in the midst of that, other things are happening to them, other coping mechanisms are taking place. That's the most significant thing. So you do a real disservice to yourself, and we're not trying to talk you out of it, because you're launching all kinds of global rockets of desire, but we're just saying to you that you will not be able to sort yourself out of this by getting more and more specifics. We have never heard more articulate conversation. We have never heard words come together more accurately or comprehensively. You are really good at conveying what you are feeling, and you've taken on yourself the discomfort and discord of maybe millions of people and directed it to us in perhaps the most profound and powerful way that we've ever experienced it. And in all of that, we only have simplistic answers for you. Those answers are, life is supposed to be good, not just for Esther and not just for some, but for all of you. And when it isn't, something has gone terribly wrong. And every single time, the thing that has gone terribly wrong is that an orientation or a perspective has been developed and practiced to the point that other evidence can't come in. In other words, when you have decided something in a very powerful way, then it must be, because law of attraction will always present to you exactly the package that you are practicing all day, every day.
You've got no argument with that.
And so we do not sense that your life reflects this now in this powerful way. At one time, yes. But we want to say to you that you are taking more upon yourself. This is really what we would like to say to you. In the same way that Esther, through allowing Abraham, is a voice that really perpetuates more and more people coming into their personal alignment and allowance. That when someone is articulate and accurate as you are, presents an opposing point of view, that you are, in essence, not creating for the masses, but you are presenting a vibrational forum that allows that grid to fill in more easily. Because you cannot be a vibrational match to something without perpetuating it. You just cannot be. So, silly as this is going to sound to you right now, we want to say, you're just having one hell of a step one moment. You're just having that I know what I don't want moment. And if you were not, from the core of your being, someone who understood so profoundly that that is not the way it is meant to be, you would not be experiencing the discord and discomfort that you're experiencing. In other words, the enormity of your outrage. Jerry said to Esther, you're aware of Jerry?
Oh yes, I've met you, Esther and Jerry at their house.
Jerry said to Esther, he's writing to her nearly every day. He said to Esther, I understand the profound depth of your love for me by the profound depth of the pain you are feeling in believing in the absence of me. And this is sort of what we'd like to say to you, is that we know of the depth and the power of who you are and what you are really wanting. You are a powerful being who understands well-being at the very depth of your being. And when you focus for a little bit or for a long while, as you have, upon the opposite of that, then it is logical that you would feel in the way that you feel.
I've spent a lifetime doing this work. I read clairvoyantly. I could read everybody in this room and they'd go home with a really good piece of information. And I'm sensitive and I see very deeply. And what I see after a lifetime of putting stuff in the vortex is that when is my moment? When is my moment? If you want to take this from the general to the personal, okay. It's not here. It's not coming. And the stuff in the vortex isn't there. And I'm living misery, and I have been for a long time, ever since I really practiced my art. Becoming more sensitive is part curse.
Well, your perspective is valid, and we would not for a moment try to talk you out of it. But we do feel in all that you have said here that your desire is different than the reality that you are describing. And that as long as that desire is pulsing within you, and it is, that we will continue to give our undivided, whether you believe it or not or even care or not, we will continue to give our undivided attention to that. And we want to say to you that you represent not necessarily large numbers of people, but you represent in your discourse here the perspective of humans that believes that they are not the creator of their own reality, that they have no creative control. And we want to say clearly to you that you do create your own reality, that you are creating your own reality, and that everyone is not having the experience that you have described. In fact, the majority of the people who are here in this room do not resonate with what you're saying at all. They are eager to allow this conversation because they all know people who feel a bit like you're feeling, but they don't feel this way.
Well, if I was the creator of my reality...
Since you are the creator of your reality...
Many people are creating their realities.
Every person is creating their reality.
On an energy level, yes.
Vibrationally.
Vibrationally,
and
yes.
Often unknown to them.
Physically, people insert into others' experiences. I do not believe for a minute every one of the 6 million Jews that spent 20 minutes screaming themselves to death in a gas chamber was an attraction or created that experience. Nor any of the other genocides, Rwanda, any of them. I mean, even if in the most simplistic...
Here's the most significant thing that we want to say to you. It is not important to us what you believe, because what you believe is yours to believe. It is important to us what we know to be. It is important to us that we know what we know. So we have discovered that by knowing what we know, our life is one of joy. And you've discovered that by knowing what you know, your life is one of misery.